what makes you think that this is only a leverage play? And I said, because he's done this before. He's used the Knicks before. This has happened before. He goes, right. And in those other situations, were the Knicks ready to win with him? I said, no. He's like, are they ready to win now? I said, yeah. He goes, and you've seen the East, right? You see what's happening in the East, right? Yeah. If LeBron went to the Knicks, would they be title contenders? I said, they already are.
Right.
He goes, would they be even closer? I said, of course. To have the narrative of, I'm going out with a chip, and I'm doing it in the place that no one can win one, that it has been impossible to do. That's the story that he leaves with, and it's like, oh, my God. Yeah, that's actually a real thing.
The past 12 to 15 hours, things have been getting very interesting. On ESPN this morning, Brian Windhorst said that the Los Angeles Lakers are viewing LeBron James as an expiring contract. If LeBron comes to the Knicks, it would be absolutely legendary. For one, the Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973. Two, it's New York City, the best city in the world. So if LeBron comes here and has his farewell tour with the Knicks and wins them a chip, I mean, what is that going to do to his legacy? It's hard to think that LeBron could enhance his legacy even more. But if he did that, I mean, are you kidding me? That would be probably the greatest thing we've ever seen in sports. The drought is over 50 years, guys. I mean, my parents weren't even alive when the Knicks last won a championship. I know that's going to make some of you guys feel old, but like that's just crazy to think about. That's how long it's been. The issue with this, though, is how do you make it work? Because LeBron opted into his option, which means he's making a lot of money. You're not going to swap LeBron with Cat because that's a decade of a gap. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So then you start to think about it, and Mitchell Robinson is an expiring contract. Mikal Bridges needs to be extended, and the Knicks don't have a lot of flexibility in the future because in just 2 years, Jalen Brunson will be eligible for a Supermax. So it remains to be seen if he'll take that. And then Josh Hart is probably another name that would be thrown around there. Just knowing that it's Clutch Sports and knowing that it's Rich Paul and Leon Rose. And this is the first time since the Cam Reddish situation, whatever you want to call it, that we've seen a Rich Paul client actually come to the Knicks. So that's not just a coincidence. I do think if LeBron ultimately decides, because he's watching the offseason right now, I think if he decides that he wants out, he is going to force his way to New York. Because if he goes to Dallas, he's not winning a championship. If he goes to San Antonio, he's not winning a championship. I don't think those teams are as close as the Knicks. If they're fully healthy, yeah, absolutely, the Mavs are going to be a threat. But they're not going to be fully healthy. It's Kyrie coming off of like an Achilles injury, and then Anthony Davis, who literally got injured in his first and last game with the Mavericks. The West is also insanely competitive. If you go to the West, you're kind of just asking to not win. The Rockets and the Thunder, I mean, those are the two teams, and the Nuggets as well. I put those the three teams I'm keeping my eye on. But the East, Halliburton, Achilles injury. Dame got waived, but he had an Achilles injury. And then also the Celtics, another Achilles injury, which is sad that keeps happening, in Jason Tatum. So if LeBron comes to the Knicks and they stay healthy, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed finals appearance because that's kind of crazy. It's pretty close to it. Like the Knicks are not losing to the Cavs, and who else is going to be a threat? Like the Milwaukee Bucks because they got Miles Turner. How much of an upgrade is Turner even over Brook Lopez? Like not that much. The Pistons and the Magic are teams to keep an eye on. The Hawks have gotten a lot better, but these teams are not beating the New York Knicks, especially with LeBron James. I mean, a trio of Brunson, Cat, and LeBron is pretty insane to think about. And I do think that the Knicks would be better right now with LeBron versus like anyone that would be in a trade. But the future is going to be what you need to focus on because you know that you're going to be really good this season. But the future is what matters because you don't want to just sell out and be another 50 plus years, right, without winning another championship. Even if the Knicks do get one, you don't want to be screwed for the future. But then you have to understand that Mitchell Robinson's probably not going to be back next season. I don't know if the Knicks would even be willing to pay him what he wants. I mean, if Mitch comes out and says that he's willing to take a pay cut to stay with of course, the team that drafted him, but I just don't really see that happening. There's going to be a team that overpays for Mitch. Isaiah Hartenstein went for $30 million annually. The Knicks, of course, didn't have the money to do that. I find it hard to believe that Mitch is not going to go for something around there. I think Hartenstein is a more reliable and versatile player, But Mitchell Robinson, look how desperate some of these teams are for centers. I'd pull up the contracts that have been given out, but nobody really cares. Hopefully you guys can just kind of take my word is that, Mitch is not going to be cheap. And the Knicks can't afford him to not be cheap. So if you put him in this trade, you're losing him anyway. You're getting LeBron James. I don't hate that at all. I really don't. I know some Knicks fans are going to be disgusted. I already know there is at least 50 to 80 Knicks fans that have already gone to the comments at this point without even listening to the end of the video. That's fine. I mean, everyone is entitled to do what they want. I don't mind trading Mitch whatsoever. If the Knicks got offered 2 first-round picks for Mitch, I posted this on Twitter earlier, I would personally do it if it was like a similar situation to Mark Williams. Obviously, I like Mitch. He's the longest tenured Knick. I know a lot of you guys got his jersey this summer, but it's a business. I don't want to lose Mitch like the Knicks did Hartenstein and get nothing in return. If you can get a couple of picks, I think you have to make that trade. And then Mikal Bridges is eligible for an extension. Again, there's been no word that he is willing to take like a massive pay cut. OG Anunoby didn't take a pay cut. He didn't take the max, but he took pretty much close to it. So OG, he didn't owe the Knicks any loyalty. He didn't owe them anything, and he got paid. Cat is obviously making around $60 million annually. If it wasn't for this Brunson pay cut, the Knicks are actually already over the second apron. In quotations, technically, again, by the time you're listening to this, they might not be. I think they're gonna make some maybe they'll trade a contract or they'll give one of their second round rookies or undrafted rookies even. Maybe James Najee, who of course they acquired the rights to in the Cat trade from the Hornets in that 3-team deal. Things are going to change quickly. Like LeBron could literally, who knows what's going to happen by the time you guys are listening to this. The NBA changes so fast. But the point is that the Knicks are over the second apron with Jalen Brunson taking a Tom Brady type of pay cut for the basketball version, or Patrick Mahomes, if you want to call it that. So the future of the Knicks, it doesn't look great. If you're paying Mitch, if you're paying Bridges, that actually can't even be done. So then you start to think of how are the Knicks even going to do this? That's the issue when guys don't take sacrifices. I wish everyone could be like Jalen Brunson, like Cat and Bridges and OG. If they were all on pay cuts, then the Knicks would be in a great spot. Legitimately, the Knicks would be absolutely terrifying. But that's not how business in basketball works. A lot of people just take the most money they can get. I mean, we would know best as Knicks fans. Carmelo Anthony, he didn't take a pay cut. He took the most money he could have gotten. And, Melo, he could have easily left the Knicks and gone to the Heat or gone to the Bulls and tried to compete. But he didn't. He stayed with the Knicks because they offered him the most money. And that's why Mike Brown is probably going to take the Knicks job, because the Knicks can offer him a lot of money, which sort of negates the pressure of replacing Tom Thibodeau, replacing a team that just went to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. So to sort of end the video on this, do I want to see LeBron James in New York? Absolutely I do. For one, I think the Knicks would be closer to a championship. For two, it would help the channel. I hate to be that guy, but obviously my channel would see a rise with LeBron James here, even if it's for a year or if it's for 2 years. But as a diehard Knicks fan my whole life, I don't know if personally I can be on board with trading Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Mikal Bridges. That seems like a lot. I don't think I can see that happening. I don't think I'd want that to happen. But if they can somehow just trade Mikal, a Mikal Bridges package for LeBron and just wiggle room it, I don't know if that's even possible, then I would do it personally. I'd 100% give me LeBron James right now over Mikal Bridges. I get we traded 5 first-round picks, but nobody's going to care if the Knicks win a championship. I mean, if you can get LeBron while keeping Cat and Brunson and OG Anunoby, I just think you have to do that. I really do.